Hello, folks. It's us. We're back. I got my orange out. We're getting ready to go to a red out. And our guys are on the ground in Salt Lake, right at Rice Acres Field, on the field. We're going to go live in just a second. Brendan Martin's standing by. He's got special guests. Loren Meadows is there. Plus, Ben Troop and Franz Beard will be along later. It's football season, folks. It's time to put the ball down and get it on. And the Buddy Martin Show is on the air.
It's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking. But be kind because he's doing the best he can.
Better, stronger, faster.
Mama says that alligators are ornery because they got all them teeth but no toothbrush.
Hey, what if the voice calls while you're gone?
Take a message.
Bye.
You ready, champ? I'm ready for this my whole life.
I'm incapable of small talk. But that's why you love me, right?
Kind of intimidating to be in the presence of so many great athletes.
Good evening and welcome. All that squawking noise in the background is Brendan Martin there, live from Salt Lake. Gonna waste no time. We thank our sponsors tonight. May they have time to be able to recognize them all the proper way, but they know who they are. And one of them's going to be on the show in a second. MEADOW Law, our good friends there, Red Star Medical Research, and Titan MRI. Let's go live to Salt Lake right now and see what the Brendo man is doing. I believe he is right in the middle of it. What's going on, Brendan?
Of course I'm right in the middle of it, Dad. I mean, I'm at the IMG MEADOW Law tailgate here.
Nice.
Just across the field, just across the way.
Terrific. What's going on over
Well,
there?
first of all, we're right across from the field. This is a great spot right here. Of course, they invited me, not you. And behind me is barbecue, open bar, stuff that I like. Yeah, my kind of thing. Where that I can kind of hang out with. And I've weaseled my way in here. Used your name, of course, and they let me in. Behind me is a giant field of tailgaters where they just all kind of showed up at the last second, and everyone was sort of. They don't do this like they do in the SEC. But nonetheless, it's been a pretty good turnout. So sea of red everywhere you look, but there's a lot of blue. Lots of traveling gators today.
Yeah. We're getting a bit of an echo here. Apologize for that. But why don't you go see if we can find somebody at that tailgate party?
What's that?
Why don't you go see if you can find somebody at the tailgate?
All right. Well, let's see if I can go grab him real quick. Isn't Loren checking into this shindig?
He's not here yet.
All right. Well, all right. We haven't had. You said you're hearing an echo. Is that what you?
I am. Yeah.
Can't fix all that for you. All right. Let's see. It might be a little bit better. You hear me all right now?
Yeah.
All right. Great. They got a speaker on here. Jeffrey's over there holding it down, and I'm probably going to roll over there as soon as this guy stops making an announcement to talk about what's going on here. But now they got a little bit of loudspeaker. But it's a huge party, buddy. It's your kind of thing. Let's see. You'll walk through it a little bit and check out what's going on. You can see it's a lot of red everywhere, but there's pockets of blue, which would be a surprise. A lot of people who know who you are, behind me. And I see Jeffrey. Let's go talk to Jeffrey Meldon. Hold on real quick. Hey, everyone come with me. It's like how it all happened. And, of course, Jeffrey's eating food. I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see Jeffrey Meldon just have a little bit of food. Hey, you're live on the air, Mr. Jeffrey. How are you?
Well, we're here in Utah getting ready for the big game.
The big game of the game today?
I think so.
What's happening? We're at, tell me about the tailgate here and what's going on.
Well, we found an awesome tailgate. Our partners, Learfield, put up this big tent just for us.
Yeah, it says Smith on the top. I don't think that's any right.
Then we got Bobby T.
Bobby D behind us, right?
Hey, Gators, what's happening?
Yeah, people are
Fired up.
we say we got pockets of blue everywhere I look, so I think a lot of Gators that travel.
So, buddy, I've been reading your optimistic columns. So, from your mouth to God's ears, we're wishing for a big Gator win today.
Now we've done predictions, and I've had everyone's predictions. I have a big prediction, 35-6. Do you have a score prediction for me today, Jeffrey?
1 point is all I need.
1 point?
That's all I
Now
need.
you're going to give me something. You're the numbers guy, man.
As long as we win by 1 point. That's
1
all I
point?
need.
I don't think it's going to be that high a scoring game. I know from people on the inside, I'm not going to say who, the Gators are going to try to exploit the center of the Utah offensive line. They think that Johnny Maai, number 53, the center is weak. They got a 300-pound freshman, Spencer something or other, number 55, who's starting his first game. They think they can exploit him. Look for number 44 for the Gators. Number 44, Pyburn. Jack Pyburn's going to have a big breakout game. Look for him. Ricky Pearsall's going to get some quick hits from our new quarterback, who has a lot of experience, Graham Mertz. Look for a quick hitter, 7-8 receptions from Pearsall. Gators are going to win a close game. This Utah team is good. They play together, but the Gators feel they can exploit the interior of the offensive line. So look for that action right up the middle, especially. 55 and 53, they feel their weak spots. Look for that.
There you go.
Okay, Brendan. Hold on, Brendan.
Before last night, we were at the hotel. Hold on, buddy. We can't hear you, so hold on. At the hotel, we got information that the team hotel that Slater is going to be starting at center today. Will you have any reactions to that? What do you think about it?
No, I mean, he's
got to start getting him in the ball.
We're going to give him the game. It's a baptism of fire. What can I tell you? I mean, there's going to be tough. First game is always tough for a lot of people. Like I said, this freshman on the left side for Utah's going to be tough, and he's going to have a tough time. But he's got an experienced line. I don't think they match up with us talent-wise, but they are really know how to play together, and we're going to see it. I look for a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be under points. I don't think the Gators are going to score that many, and neither is Utah. And that'll play for Florida. Hey, the elevation is going to be a factor. I'm telling you something. It's over 5,000 feet here, about 5,000 feet at sea level. It's tough breathing. The heat's not going to be a problem for us. I don't know, though. The elevation could be a factor.
All right. So you got any parting words for us, Jeffrey? You know, like.
Yeah, buddy. All I can say is go Gators.
That's right.
All right, buddy.
You know, we tell people around here, you guys do this with me. We got to punch the screen and say, smash the subscribe button. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Smash it.
Whoa! Whoa!
Have you seen
Whoa!
that?
Whoa! Oh my gosh! Holy mackerel!
Thanks, guys. Thanks, buddy.
All right, Brendan. Thank you, Brendan.
You guys okay?
Great information.
Okay?
Thanks, guys. All right.
Okay, Brendan.
Now, is that a smash or what?
You can take off the rest of the night and give the microphone to them. They can handle it from there. They can handle
I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, does it?
That's a real smash for sure.
Well, they're very strong. So, and by the way, we're not 5,000 feet above sea level. We're about 3,200 and change. Just everyone knows that. And I can feel it. I can feel the. I think Billy's right about the longer you hear, the more you feel the elevation. So that's for sure. I'm trying to walk over here, buddy, because I want to give you a shot of the stadium. Well, right across the street. Of course, Jeffrey Melden wouldn't have it any other way. Let's see if I can't turn this camera around. I think I can do that. Hold on. And we'll push this button here. See if it's going to give us a different look. If not, I'll just turn it right under here. There you see the stadium is across the street. It's not a very big place. Not a very big place.
It's nice.
45,000 people. So, ran into Graham Paul on the way in when we parked the car. He's excited. He told me to tell you hello. I'll be sitting close to him in the press box. And Loren MEADOW should be checking in here not too long from the field, depending if he can get on the field. Kind of give us his take on what's going on there. Buddy, have you heard any scuttlebutt on the internet? Anything that I need to know about? You want to give me any last minute tips here?
Well, I'm trying to make sure all this stuff is working here, and we're on the right channel and all that. But
Oh yeah.
I have a column up I just wrote about, which I think it sums up the deal. This is the crossroads for Gator football and Billy Napier tonight on a national stage. It is suddenly swollen to a big game. It was a good game and a prominent, important game. It's now become a big game for Napier, who now is the guy who's trying to lead these Gators to return to glory. And it's a statement game for him. And tonight, as we know, he's got Graham Mertz, and we're okay with that. A running game, great. People who say Florida doesn't have receivers, don't buy that. They've got plenty of good receivers, including the 3 freshman Flyers led by Eugene Wilson Trey. And so watch for him to have a big game tonight. Some youngsters playing, starting at safety. It's going to be a really great set. It looks like a beautiful place, Brendan. And what a great, and we have some nice pictures from Chris Spears. We'll try to get them up of the stadium. It's a pretty stadium. It's a great setting. It's a terrific venue. Good night for football, and the Gators are on the national stage. Need to make a statement, Brendan. Need to make a statement.
Yeah, well, we were talking about that last night, and you know, there's a good and a bad thing about Cam Rising not playing. You know, the expectations now become, well, this, you know, it's going to be, you know, I'm sure the odds have changed, and now, you know, people are saying, well, now when the Gators win, there's going to be an asterisk next to their name about this win, which I don't think is a fair deal at all. I think what we're going to find is that, you know, after sort of being here, that this place is ready to play football. It's all the places I've been in the West Coast, or not West Coast, Midwest, or whatever you want to call it, but in the Mountain West, you know, this town gets up for this team. Everybody's talking about the ball game today. You see everyone's turned out. It's a sold-out day. So I think the win is going to be a challenge with Cam Rising or not. And I don't think you know, it's necessarily an asterisk for the Gators if they if they win today, which I still hold by my prediction, because I feel like I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of the parents last night, and they were talking about it. Ricky Pearsall's parents and some other people that were there. I had the pleasure of talking to them. A really neat family, just talking about their son and coming from Arizona, and it just you know, that how much support that there is, you know, for these guys, for the University of Florida, as far as family and people who travel and come to the games. This is not an easy place for them to get to, but yet here we are. You know, there were several families in the lobby last night when we stopped by, and all of them very kind and very excited for this year, and excited for Billy Napier, and excited for their kids, you know, and sons to be playing for him. So, you know, the table is set, Dad, like you said, for Billy to have, you know, an impressive win and a feather in his cap, a much-needed feather in his cap, because Billy, this is his chance to shine. So, hi, friends.
Brendan Martin, as I live and breathe.
How are you, sir?
Doing well, doing well. You know, have you
Got
been
a lot of people here at the tailgate party who are singing your praises, by the way. Oh, I love me some Franz Beard, love me some Franz Beard. So I said, great, subscribe. They said, well, I'm not sure if we're ready to subscribe to Gatorade yet. I said, well, you should, because you get a whole lot of Buddy and a whole lot of friends.
Have you been down to see the Tabernacle in downtown in Temple Square?
Yeah, I was there early this morning at sunrise, Franz.
Very impressive.
Yeah, I've been down. Listen, you forget I'm from Colorado. I've been to this town a few times, so I know Salt Lake a little bit. But beautiful city, beautiful town. I'll tell you what, it couldn't be a more perfect day for football. It's about 82 degrees. It's as hot as it's going to be right now. Sun is, as soon as it kind of, you know, starts to set, it's going to be just a gorgeous night. It's really smoky here. They got the wildfires from California. When we landed yesterday, we literally landed in a haze of smoke. So there is and I can feel it. You know, it is like heavy on your on your on your breath, other than the altitude. But it's thick, and to the point where at one point they couldn't even see the mountain range. So I don't know if that plays into an extra factor or not, but other than that, it's just an absolutely perfect day to kick off this Gator football season. So.
We got another guy here that we're going to put up and let you guys. Brendan, what time do you have to leave to go to the game? If you have to go, let us know. But let's say hello to the man with the hat here, guy that we love on Thursdays. This is technically the Orange and Blue Blood show, and this guy helps make it. Ben,
yes, sir.
Up,
yes,
buddy?
sir.
Yeah.
Ben, true.
Hey, Brandon, man, how was it out there, man? I done seen a whole bunch of stuff throughout the day, man. You guys enjoying yourself out there?
Yeah, it's awesome. They, it's for all the Mountain West schools, this one gets it up the most. The whole town's behind them. It's sea of red, which you like to see. The tailgate's full for a Thursday. They're ready to rock and roll. There's no available tickets. People trying to get them everywhere you turn. Everyone's real nervous. I hear a lot of nerves about Cam Rising not playing because he's very beloved here. I think the cashier said to me last night, "Do you know Cam Rising comes in here? He comes in here and he gets his stuff and he signed a T-shirt. We got it right up there, man." So they love their quarterback and they call him our quarterback. So I love to see that. In college football, I love to see that. That they rally behind their team, and that's what you want when you go to see it into these college towns. So Salt Lake,
he was MVP of MVP. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, there's no pro football team in Utah, so this is Utah's team.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that Cam Rising is a terrific player. He was the MVP of the Pac-12 that we remember, may the rest in peace, and all Pac-12 last year. So he's a hell of a player. I still think he's a competitor. If he can walk, he's going to get on the field for a couple of plays, just play mind games. I think they'll put the freshman quarterback in there, Nate Johnson, behind him, who's a speedster, and they're going to play some tricks. If he can walk, if he can't walk, then obviously he can't play. But I still can't rule out. Look, no such thing, Brendan, as a dead mic and a dead snake, okay, and a quarterback that ain't gonna play, okay? Because I've seen this movie before.
Well, we could see that. I thought it was interesting last night when we learned about AJ Slater's going to start today. We was reported this morning.
Jake Slaughter, you mean?
Jake Slater, AJ Slater. I'm thinking about Saved by the Bell. You know what I mean?
Jake Slaughter from Trinity, Ocala. Jake Slaughter.
Yeah, from Trinity, Ocala. So Jake Slaughter's here, and he's starting today. So I think that's interesting. I think he much deserves need to get some play time. I think it's a good game. What do you guys think about that move?
Well, I can tell you this much, and I'm going to throw a name out there that Buddy and I know Ben are going to remember because Ben's an old wrestling fan. Sergeant Slaughter.
I know Sergeant Slaughter.
In the middle of the line. The good news about this kid is he's like an A student. He really is a smart football player. And as Rob Sale said last year, he is tough as nails, knows every position on the offensive line, what they're supposed to do, and they wouldn't hesitate to play him at any one of the 5 positions. That's the kind of guy I think you wanted at center, wouldn't you say, Ben?
Yeah, I think it is. Obviously when you think about this offensive line, losing a guy like Kingsley, it becomes a talking point. But football is the greatest next man up you've ever seen, and I know it's a lot of talk going into this game about gamesmanship because even the whole Cam Rising thing, people were saying, well, when do they got to make it official? The day before the game. You can't do that stuff you do during the off season when you don't got to worry about these injury reports. I said this, when it comes to football, your team will be decided on the healthy bodies coming out of camp. And like I said, I know that this is going to be a big game no matter what, no matter who's playing. I mean, we got a freshman starting at safety tonight. I mean, and he's gonna, and you got to be the show enough to come in as a freshman to come in and start at safety. But I still think the gamesmanship has been at an all time high. Utah love their youths. We get it. Florida don't got any less pressure on them than they had before the game, whether Cam Rising start or not. But if our offensive line cannot establish a new line of scrimmage for us to run the football, I think it's gonna be a dogfight no matter what. But I think that, you know, the center position got to be one that's very, very keen because this, friends. When it comes to offensive lineman, your center, he don't got to be the biggest. He definitely got to be the toughest, and he definitely got to be the smartest because he gonna make the calls. He gonna decide who's blitzing. He gonna decide which way they going with pressure. So Graham Mercer, him gonna have a lot going on today, but I do like our chances.
You played with Mike DeGore, who never missed a start, answered the bell every single game, and a guy who played when he didn't feel like playing or was hurt a bit. You know, Mike DeGore said, you know, if there's a game to be played, I'll be out there. And that's the thing his buddy just said about Cam Rising. You know, is it going to be a Kirk Gibson moment when you pinch hit him in the, you know, you got to have a rally there in the fourth quarter and you've been kind of dead. So you put him in for a series, or is he going to be a Willis Reed moment when all of a sudden he trots out on the field to start the game? I see, you know, Willis Reed and Kirk Gibson are indelibly impressed on my mind. So nothing would shock me.
This place would go absolutely ape stuff if that happened. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, it would. Can I ask you guys all something about this game? And I wrote this column just a moment ago. It's posted on Gatorbait. We can just plug it real fast about the Crossroads game for the Florida Gators. You know, it's become all of a sudden a big game for many reasons. The point spread's down to 4 or 4.5, guys. This tells you people think Florida can win this game on the road. And this is such a big moment for Billy, who's trying to make a statement about this team and program, that he's the guy can bring them back. And now the national audience, all the nation's eyes are turned to Salt Lake tonight. And this game, and a chance for the Gators to really buy back some respectability and credibility, and all this disrespect they've been having, this would really help. This would be a great down payment on that tonight if they can win this game. Because now, as I said with Allie last night, if they beat Tennessee, they could be 6-0. Could be 6-0, and at the break, that would be amazing. So it's a huge game, I think, bigger than we're even just saying. I believe Booger McFarlane was sick when I said this game has suddenly a big game feel. So that's how I feel about it. Brendan, you're there. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think this is a huge game because it sets the tone for the season, as we all know. But it really sets the tone for Billy Napier as he's coming off this fantastic recruiting experience. And, you know, he's got a lot of momentum. To win this game right now would really do a lot for him because, not in a negative way, I'm not talking smack, I'm just saying he hasn't done anything yet here at Florida. And right now he needs to get some W's in his pocket. And winning on the road right now, especially with some of this articles coming out with people saying, you know, nobody really cares about how many wins and this team's not that good or whatever it may be. I think coming out and making a statement on the road against Utah is huge for Billy Napier. And I think that's huge for this team and obviously Graham Mertz. But it all, you know, it starts at the top.
I'll tell you how big it is. Herb Street's there. And if this was just your average, typical game that really didn't matter, Herbie would be back at his home in Nashville. He's in Salt Lake. If ESPN knows how big this is for Billy Napier, for Florida, and for the SEC, because you got to remember, next year, ESPN has all of the SEC. So getting an SEC win on the first night of the first real night of the college football season, that says something for ESPN too. That's why Herbie's there.
Big game,
Yeah, I
man.
agree. I agree. I think sometimes, people forget just how big of a brand Florida is. And I mean, take nothing away from Utah, take nothing away from the recent success they've had. But Florida lets people know, man, look, number one, we travel. Number one, we are important to the college football fabric. And certain teams just make college football go. And Florida's one of them. Billy Napier knew no matter what, coming from the SoCon, having the first season that he had, people are going to have something to say. But guess what happens? We are a week by week league. You win this game, you start off the same like you did last year, but it just, I'm not going to get into the whole, it just means more because it's in the SEC, but I think you hit it on the head, friends. Kirk Herbstreit, he don't just show up anywhere, man. It's in his contract. I only show up to the games that matter. I only show up for the teams that matter, and he's doing both tonight, so I'm looking forward to it, man. I just think that the fanfare is good. I like the fact that it's Thursday. Everybody's watching. Everybody. And
That's right.
hey, man, you get to go out there and put on your best showing. You at the University of Florida, you cannot hide. And for a guy like Billy Napier, he knows until he does something significant enough at a consistent level, the pressure is always going to be there, no matter what he does. But Billy Napier, man, he's cool, calm, and collected. He knows what it takes a full year in Florida to really understand what's at stake. And I'm not saying he didn't know that before he got here, but Billy Napier knows the only thing that matters when it comes to him is wins. Everything else is great. All the different things they doing and the camaraderie that they building, I think that's great. But it don't mean a thing, man, if you ain't got that W. And I think they get a big W tonight. And I think no one will ever know what Billy Napier feel like unless your last name is McElwain or Zook or Spurrier or Meyer. So no one knows what it's like to be him. But I think he is the dude. You just got to go out there and prove it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Graham Mertz go out there and really show what he's been doing all season. I think he's going to have a better showing than people giving him credit for.
Yeah, everybody's anxious, including David Arnold, to start the game. Well, here it is. Now we'll watch with optimism and hope. Now, nobody cares about the transfer portal or NIL right now. They care about their team. And taking this venue tonight, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a big number on TV. And Billy Napier can smell this thing now. He can smell it. He sees the point spread sinking and coming down to, and he knows he's within his grasp. And he knows now what this is going to mean. This has become not just a good game or an important game. This is damn near a huge game, friends.
Oh, I can't disagree with you there. It is a huge game. Here's the thing. Nobody, when you see that column that goes in, for example, at CFB stats, it doesn't show if Florida beat Utah in that column that gives the schedule. It doesn't show, but Cam Rising didn't play. It shows number 14, Utah. Florida beats a ranked team.
Florida beats a ranked team.
And that right there says everything.
All right, we got some background noise here. So, all right, Brendan.
Sorry, I might getting some static here. Probably, I might have to get off. It's getting kind of busy.
Yeah, we're getting feedback.
Hey, I'll tell you guys. Wish you well, and go Gators and all that stuff. At the end, I'm still a Gator, so I'll
Smash it.
Peace out. We'll see you guys. Posted.
All right, Brendan.
All right.
They smashed it so hard at the party. Knocked Brendan's phone out of his hand. Okay, guys. I'm gonna take a little break here. And we'll do a commercial. I'm looking for Loren Meadows wherever he is. So stand by. We'll come back and put a ribbon on this. All right. I want to talk about Swamp Kings. I really enjoyed it. I think Jeffrey Melton did too. Jeffrey, your first take on what you saw there with that 4-part series on Netflix, and how did you feel as a Gator coming out of that thing?
Man, I was so proud. I felt like it was, a love postcard or something to the Gators, because it showed what kind of tradition we have here. It showed how much blood, sweat, and tears Urban Meyer put into the program, and it made everybody realize that a winning football program doesn't happen without a lot of really hard work.
That was the truth. That was the underlying theme. You want to win a championship, you pay a price, and Urban paid a big one, even with his health. And I think maybe what we're seeing now, since Urban is now going to be up for the Ring of Honor, maybe there's a different viewpoint of what people think about Urban Meyer.
So, I heard 4 or 5 years ago that, they were doing this whole thing where Spurrier was supposed to get the Gator fan base chilled out because they knew they wanted Urban on the Ring of Honor a long time ago. But all these Gator fans had such a bad attitude towards Urban. They needed Spurrier's help to smooth things out. What have you heard about that?
Well, listen, when you grew up in Cleveland and somebody did that, you had what is called an attitude adjustment. You take them in the back alley and change their attitude, right?
You're right. Well, I mean, look, Spurrier understood exactly what went on. I think, and we were talking earlier, you also understood what was going on because you're so close with Urban Meyer. Why don't you talk a little bit about your perspective on Swamp Kings?
Well, I'm going to talk about your profession because I have gotten myself in so much trouble over the years by defending Urban for things I knew were wrong, and I've lost friends over it, So I've said I'm not going to be Urban Meyer's defense attorney, but I will be his friend, and I'm going to tell the truth. I thought Swamp Kings was really good. In fact, these Urban's fingerprints are all over both these programs tonight. He's in. He'll be on our show tomorrow. We have our 11:30 a.m. show with Urban. He's obviously watching this game very closely because he helped build these teams. And his heart's as a Gator, but he also his good friend Kyle Whittingham, and actually his trusted assistant. So we're going to bring Loren Meadows on here for a second. But tell me about Urban Meyer's fingerprints. You start with you, Ben.
I think you said it the best. When Urban Meyer is real similar to kind of like what Billy Napier's going through now. When he first came in, everybody was skeptical. I mean, we get it with the Alex Smith stuff, we get it, but then he had success at a level that nobody thought you could do outside of a guy like Spurrier. And when he started winning, he did not stop. It did not stop. And obviously coming from a place like Utah, in our neck of the woods, let's call it what it is. You know how many people, the first time they ever went to Utah in their life was when they got off the plane? You ain't never heard of, man, where y'all headed to? Salt Lake? Outside of being a Utah Jazz fan, what would people know about Utah? But I think for a guy like Urban Meyer, you know this, just because Florida paying you the money, that's big shoes to fill. That's a lot of pressure. But Urban, it just proved when Spurrier first came over from Florida, obviously he won the Heisman, a great player, but he coming from Duke. So you knew he could coach. Coming from Utah to Florida, you knew he could coach. We just didn't know. But he was saying, if I could just get to Florida to where I'm unlimited resources, unlimited funds, great fan base, great everything, I got a shot to win championships. Lo and behold, he did that. So, like I said, Urban Meyer is one of those guys. Like him or love him, you hate him because you couldn't beat him. You love him if you played for him or rooted for him. So he's that dude.
All right, we got a guy there lurking around the shadows from out in Salt Lake. He's looking for a place to broadcast. They're kicking him out everywhere, I think. What's up, Loren?
How you guys doing?
All right. What's happening out there? Any parties?
Sir?
Any parties going on?
Oh yeah, it's a full house up in here in the press box, and everybody's getting ready. Just got done talking to Shane Matthews. So,
of course, you found the food. I see that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Now, let me ask you a question. Have you
Yes, sir.
seen have you seen any people in Utah Red consuming adult beverages?
Quite a few actually. You'd be surprised. You know, it's a little bit more lenient in Salt Lake, I think.
There, it's supposed to be
but
no
but but
caffeine and no beer, and
right. But we
I
did
think
have
that's
some
why
guys.
the Iowa fight song is "In Heaven There Is No Beer." That's
Right.
why we
Well, hey,
drink it
look,
here.
they did say that you know, it was a little different though. We had some media people go out last night and I think got indoctrinated to the one drink minimum, if you know what I mean. One drink maximum, excuse me.
I've been
One
there and
drink
had
maximum.
drinks there those many times in that city, and you have to kind of go in
Yes,
the
sir.
back door and know the right people. That's all.
Right, right. A little underhand, you know.
Yeah. So big game tonight. I know you're in the press box, and we won't keep you but a minute. What's the one thing you're looking for first to see if this Florida team can beat Utah? What do you need to see in the first half?
I think I need to see an improved front seven. I mean, right off the bat, Shane and I just talked about it. I think that you know, we need to see if there's going to be a consistent you know, ability to stop the run on a consistent basis, and you know, get off the field on third and shorts. You know, because they got to get stops. I think everybody's talking about the quarterback, but if they're not able to get stops throughout the season, it's just going to be a, you know, it's going to be a big issue. So I think that if you know, really how the front seven is going to play. And then obviously secondary is all eyes will be on the quarterback. I mean, if the trigger man comes in and really plays well, I think they got a shot.
Their third string quarterback, you got to watch too. He's really fast. They're expecting him, Nate Johnson, I believe it is. They expect him to show up at some point. He's a change of pace.
Yeah. I think
So
they'll go with Bryson Barnes early.
he'll start.
And then as a
Maybe
change of
rising
pace,
for
yeah,
a couple
definitely.
snaps just to get him out there. And if he can
Yeah.
go, let him stay for a while, and then bring in Nate Johnson and people are predicting he will score a touchdown. So I don't know.
Right.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you guys. Let me ask you guys this question as we get ready to count it down for the season and starting. What is the number one thing about the Florida defense, which is aside the obvious, the stopping on third down, that you think they will do? What do you think Austin Armstrong will do? They got a freshman tackle and a backup quarterback. Do I smell blitz, Benz?
I hope so. I hope so. I think the thing, and that's the thing too. You know what's funny? I mean, with all this talk about Graham Merce or Cam Rising or the front seven, this Coach Armstrong's debut now. I mean, he was a guy that you was able to go out there and he's been, you know, I mean, he negotiated with a hammer. Well, you're gonna have to show it tonight because the thing about it is you plan on a Thursday, so you get a long time to recover between now and your next game. I want to see what type of defense we're going to be looking at. I mean, Princely is going to be going up against a freshman tackle. Hopefully we can take advantage of that. You talk about can Jay Marsh and those guys hold up on the outside. We got a freshman starting at safety tonight. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Don't be conservative. I think the thing is, it's not that you blitz, it's when you call it. It's got to be something that you got to make those quarterbacks, whoever it is for Utah tonight, make them make decisions quicker than they want to make tonight. So if they can do that, I'm looking forward to it. I want Princeton to go out there and put pressure. And if them two mountain of men on the inside of that D tackle can get moved around, it's gonna be a long night. But if they can create piles right there in the middle, I think we got some good enough linebackers to fly around and make some plays. So I want to see what Coach Armstrong gonna be dialing up tonight.
All right, now I'm going to ask Loren, and then Fran's going to wrap it up. Loren, over or under on the number of blitzes, and give me an over and under on the amount of rushing yardage for Florida.
Well, if you call the blitz anytime they bring more than 4, I would say I'm gonna say about 70% actually. I think they'll bring.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. I think so with everything that's going on, and you know, Austin Armstrong made it very clear that he would be quick to adjust to what he was seeing, and I think with like with a freshman offensive tackle, we've all noted things like that. I think you could see anywhere from 60% blitz. And what was the other question? I'm sorry.
Number over under yardage for the Florida's rushing game with ETN. And
I'm going to give. I think last year was 268. I'm going to give them about 270 again. So I think right around the same number as last year.
That's about 100 yards more than I got because I heard they got a better defense. I heard they're really improved. So All right, France, put a
Yeah.
bow on it. What do you think?
I think what's going to happen is we're going to see some sort of a blitz on every single play. Austin Armstrong, what made him so good at Southern Miss was he lines up pretty much the same way every time, but you don't know who's coming from where. He'll blitz the safety this time, the corner this time, a linebacker this time, and it all comes from different angles on every single play. And the idea is you disrupt by you making somebody get jumpy, and he all of a sudden he sees something he hadn't seen. He creates a gap. Now all of a sudden there's a regular defensive lineman has a clear hole to the play because somebody got jumpy out of the whole thing, and that's his whole thing is a disruptive game. And I think you're going to see Florida's going to be sending somebody, I think, on every single play,
Okay,
whether they're in a 3-man front or
let's
or
let
a
Lauren go.
4-man
We'll
front.
finish it. Lauren, I know you got to go. You got in the press box. So thank you, buddy.
Oh, that's
Good
okay.
going.
I was going to say,
You all right?
though, just to finish up, if Florida only rushes for 170, they lose the game, in my opinion.
Well, I have a little different opinion about that. I believe Shane, when Shane says you got it wrong, you think Graham Mertz is going to be a game manager. He's not. He's going to play his game. He's going to throw those 12, 15, 18-yard passes. He's not going to just run the ball every time. And so he thinks to get the ball in the hands of those freshmen, those guys, and of course we know Pearsall, he thinks they can move the football through the air. So it's opposite of what we're all saying. Well, it's going to be low scoring. They're going to run the ball control. Shane doesn't think that. So I go with Shane because he knows what he's talking about.
Well, I'm about to go talk to him and ask you. So
No. Here's what you tell him. Here's what you tell him right now. You tell him, don't forget his commitment to me. If Cam Rising comes on the field by the first quarter, he's got to put it on the radio. The Buddy Martin said.
Okay.
That's the bet.
Yes, sir.
That's the bet. Okay.
Well, he and Sean are sitting right here. I'll go tell him right now.
All right. Don't forget what I told him. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Good
See you
job,
guys.
man. All right. Thanks.
Buddy, I think Florida's going to run for about 250. I really believe they're going to be able to. And here's why. I don't think they'll have that many more rushing attempts. I don't think it will be overloaded. I think it'll be very, very balanced. But I think that come the fourth quarter, they're going to be running that, particularly that right side of the line. You got Mazuka, 6'5", 340. You got Damian George, 6'6", 355. You're going to be running those big guys, and they're going to be wearing those guys out. You're going to see the 4 and 5 yard runs in the fourth quarter are going to be 6, 8, 10 yard runs. And I think Florida's going to wind up with really big yardage. Now, I will say this. I think that I think Utah's got to be so cognizant of Florida's run that they're going to play their safeties. They're up closer than normal. And I think that's going to be a big mistake because I think that's going to create the avenues for Ricky Pearsall and those freshmen.
And the flying freshman. The name of the flying freshman, okay?
And don't forget Caleb Douglas. Last year, he's overlooked a lot because last year he only caught 10 passes. But people forget, last year he was learning how to play wide receiver. He'd been a quarterback all his life. And now all of a sudden he's playing wide receiver. Now he knows what he's supposed to do. He's shown in practice that he can make all the catches. Give this guy, they're going to be so cognizant of Pearsall. They're going to see Eugene Wilson. They've read all the stuff, and they're going to be, oh my God, this guy, we got to get him on the drag runs, the drag routes, etc. like this. I think Caleb Douglas is in for a big game because I think they're going to be so cognizant of everybody else. And I will say that one other thing. If Khalil Jackson has it in his gene pool about a slant, nobody in history ever ran a slant better than Willie Jackson. Willie Jackson could run slants. He made a career in the NFL out of running the slant. It was like Willie was in the game. Oh, they're going to run the slant. Yep, boom. And he gets open. If he's got it in his genes to run a slant, oh my gosh. If Khalil Jackson catches a slant, I'm going to be the happiest camper in the world.
All right. Ben?
I just think for me, I really I do think Graham Mertz is going to have a better showing than people think. I don't think people understand what it's like to have a guy like Ricky Pearsall who understands coverages, who understands just like spacing. He's going to make life easier for those freshman receivers. And when you got a two-headed monster at running back, when you got a number one receiver in Pearsall, when you don't start at Florida at freshman unless you just come out of high school ready. No one made, forget what Shane said. No one made, Chris Doring said, he said, listen, there was guys by the name of Jaquez Green and Riedel Anthony. When those guys got here, they were just different. And Chris was there with them. He's not going to just say that. I'm looking forward to seeing what his passing game is going to be. I'm looking forward to see what Graham Mertz didn't come to Florida to hand the ball off. He did not come over here for that. I think that he's going to be better than people say, and I don't think he's gun shy. So I'm looking forward to see Mertz, and obviously I'm looking forward to seeing Pearsall. Pearsall told me I came back because I want to put my name in the record books with these other great receivers that came here, man. I'm ready. So I just think that with Florida having so many guys, with the best two guys being at running back, I think that bodes well from any offense. And I'm looking forward to it, man. Utah is not going to be an easy out. They're not an easy out for anybody that plays them. But I think that when you got a team like Utah, I think you got at home, they really, really comfortable. I think if we make this a dog fight, make it a 4-quarter game, I do agree with what Fran said. 3 and 4 yard runs become 7, 8 breakaway runs, in the fourth quarter, because at a certain point you get tired of them big guys leaning on you. I get tired of them leaning on me. So I'm looking forward to seeing if it's going to be 60-40 or 50-50 run pass ratio and let the chips fall.
Okay, I'm going to do this and we have final thoughts. I'm going to tell you about our friends at Titan MRI. Titan MRI is worth the short drive to Gainesville. No insurance, no problem. You can pay with cash or card. Same day scheduling available. Start feeling better today because Titan MRI is North Central Florida's premier independent MRI facility. Come see why hundreds of patients are visiting our Gainesville location from Ocala, Marion County, the villages from everywhere. That's TitanMRI.com. Final thoughts, Ben.
My final thought is, number one, the best two words in football is game day. They're the greatest two words because that means that everything you put in is finally here. I love the fact that
Game day.
It is game day. I'm just happy for these guys to finally have their moment. Guys like Ricky Pearsall, guys like Prince, the guys like Jay Marsh, even though Kingsley ain't gonna be on the field, I'm just happy that these guys, because the hardest thing in football is not getting recruited or signing a national letter of intent. It's playing on Saturday. That sideline reflects how many guys are never going to get out there. So if you're one of the ones that's going to get out there tonight, enjoy the hell out of it. Enjoy yourself because, like I said, the hay is in the barn now. And, the rubber is officially about to meet the road here in about an hour and some change. And like coaches used to tell us, everybody talk about it. Everybody want to be about it. It's time to do it. And I'm so happy for these dudes. I saw, Brandon Spikes and the Pouncey brothers and Major, all those guys traveled out there to Salt Lake. That's how much it means to them. So for all those alumni that's there, I'm happy for those guys just supporting their Gators. And like I said, man, the analyst in me, I always got to break it down analytically, but the orange and blue in me, I got orange and blue color glasses on. I'm rooting for my boys in a big way tonight because at a certain point, you got to want to prove it to yourself. Forget all the noise. Forget all the naysayers. The naysayers are watching. But as my daddy would say, it's hard to pick who roots for you and who roots against you because they both got a ticket. They both in the stands, both of them. Go out there and enjoy yourself, man. And I think at the end of this thing, I think them boys from Florida gonna be victorious a second year in a row.
All right, Brendan Martin back on, showing us a little scenery there. Good comments, Ben. And let's go to Franz while we get a pan of the stadium for your final thoughts, Franz.
I think Florida is going to have a very good football game. I don't know that we can call it's going to be spectacular, although Wouldn't surprise me if it is. But I think they're going to be a very good football team, showing very good football skills, well coached, ready to play. I think what you're going to see from the get-go is they're not going to be able to run the ball up the middle. For all the talk about how Utah's got all this stuff up the middle. Last year, Florida had no defensive line. This year, they've got it. And I think Cam Jackson, I think Desmond Watson, the two of them, the total eclipse of the sun, between the two of them, they block it out. I think that they're going to make Utah run wide. Florida's linebackers too fast. They're going to take care of that. And I think Florida is going to have a solid, if not spectacular, game. From the beginning, I think the Gators are not caught by surprise by anything. I think they take on the demeanor of their coach, which is we're ready, we're confident, we can get the job done. And as a result, I like Florida 27-17. I think it's going to be a really good ball game for about 3 quarters, but I think in the fourth quarter, it's going to be like Florida, Oklahoma, Florida, Alabama, 2008, when the big guys just started pushing and crunching.
Okay. Here's a guy who picked it 35-6. He's back in right now. Let him say final words about
I just talked to a couple fans walking in, and let me tell you right now, the whole conversation is that they're nervous that their boy isn't playing. So I think this camerizing thing is going to be a bigger deal. I agree with Franz a little bit more on the score. Obviously, mine's different, but I think that Austin's going to have a defensive scheme ready. I think we're going to see a tough defense. I think we got the rookie freshman safety starting. I think we're going to see a better secondary. I think we're going to see a better defensive line, a better push. And I think defense is really going to be the story of this game. I think that is what we're going to see a lot of today. And I think we're going to see Graham Mertz get comfortable and start to, really use the talents around him and finally come into his own. I really believe that.
All right. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Good job, everybody. And Brendan enjoyed the game. Looking to be on here in an hour, 5 minutes, or whatever. We're starting football season in Florida. That's going to be a great night. Enjoy it, and let's hope we're talking about a W tomorrow.
And Jeremy Crawshaw in the altitude gets at least one 70-yard punt tonight.
All right. Anything else you want to add, friends, before I let you go?
Punters are people too.
Okay.
That's what he wears. He wears his. He's got a T-shirt out now that they're selling. It says punters are people too. And so our punter is going to have a big night tonight too, because he's going to flip the field.
France covering all bases. He's covering all. How about their Shirley's? What factor would they be? No. All right, guys. I got to go. Good job. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks. Brendan, enjoy the game. All right.
All right. Thanks. And thanks, everybody there. Make sure you go to GatorbaitMedia.com.
Mm-hmm.
Still running our special all access annual membership, code winning just until today. This will be the last time to jump on that opportunity. Get 20% off your all access.
That's right. Yeah.
And don't forget to smash the subscribe button and join us tomorrow, buddy. I'm on the early flight out of here, so I don't know if I'll be on. I might come on at the airport. But what time are you going on tomorrow for the post game?
Urban Meyer, 11:30. Our first.
Urban Meyer, 11:30. Wow.
And you come in when you can. So.
All right, sounds good.
Just Urban Meyer, nobody else. Just Urban Meyer.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. We'll have that's. I think he's all you need there.
It's a joke. Just Urban Meyer's all I got.
Well, what time is the Orange and Blue Blood post game show tomorrow, buddy?
Don't know. What time you want to do it?
Well, I don't know. Well, my flight's at 6 a.m. Here, but I won't be back in Florida till about noon Florida time. But we'll have plenty to report on, that's for sure.
Tag me from the airport. We'll put something up.
All right, I will. All right, Dad. Love you.
Have a good time.
All right, guys. All right, go Gators.
All right. Brendan Martin, bringing us all the good stuff from out in Utah, Rice Eccles. And he's going to enjoy this scene tonight. He's been there before, but it's got a big game feel, and I think Florida's going to win this game, which will make it special. Thanks, Brendan. I want to tell you folks about our good friends at Red Star Medical Research, who support us so much and support our town. Good friends, good people. They do a good job with their high quality patient-centered clinical research facility. They bring cutting-edge research trials to Ocala, things like Alzheimer's and psoriasis, osteoarthritis, migraines, fibromyalgia, all the things that affect us in this area. And they do these clinical research trials to get you involved, and so you can also impact the numbers. And when they send them off to these pharmaceutical companies and biomedical companies to tailor make these treatments for us. So go by and see them, and if you're downtown, go log on to renstar.net, check out their clinical trials and ability to be eligible for them. In some cases, compensation is paid for time and travel. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today. That's going to be a wrap, folks. It's over here and just starting in Reichs Eckles. It's going to be a great night. Take care.